Animals live in different parts of our world, and those parts are called habitats. Do you ever think about our pet tiger? I wonder what habitat he lives in. Maybe our ficus tree. Do you think that that's in a certain part of the world? What about our Eskimos that we did earlier this year? He's a person, and people are animals. Do you think he lives in a different region than our tiger does? Well, that's what we're going to talk about this week. We're going to talk about habitats. One habitat in particular, the rainforest. So join me outside as we go talk about our habitat. Do you remember what town our habitat's in? That's right, it's Bulverde, Texas. Our habitat consists of many things, like dogs, cats, horses, all those pets that we have around us. It also has many oak trees that grow tall into the sky. We have wildflowers like bluebonnets and Indian paintbrushes. There's also wild animals around us like white-tailed deer, possums, raccoons, and many types of birds. Do you think that's really different from the rainforest? How different do you think it is? Okay. Now it's time to learn a little bit about the layers of the rainforest. In the emergent layer, you can see tall trees emerging over the rest of the rainforest. The trees you see in the emergent layer are considerably larger than the rest of the trees. The trees here get most of the sunlight in severe weather. A lot of animals that live in this layer have to adapt to living there their whole lives in the tops of trees, hardly, if ever, touching the ground. Butterflies, the harpy eagle, and pygmy gliders are able to live here. The canopy layer is the next layer of the rainforest. In the canopy layer, you can only see the tops of the rainforest trees that create a canopy or roof for the rest of the layers. Since lots of sunlight reaches this area, the leaves of the trees are smaller and rounder. In a maze of tree branches and leaves, you will find many types of tropical birds, like the toucan and the macaw. Several types of monkeys, sloths, and insects also live in this layer. The third layer of the rainforest is the understory layer. This is the last layer before you reach the forest floor. The canopy layer absorbs most of the sunlight, so plants in this layer have to fight for the rest of the sunlight. They typically have larger leaves to try and receive that light. In this layer, you will find animals without wings or hanging arms. The animals you find here are jaguars, tree frogs, leopards, and many types of insects. Leopards live here because they sit on top of the tree branches and wait for their prey to come by so they can pounce on them. This brings us to the very last layer, the darkest layer of the rainforest. It is called the forest floor. Since very little sunlight reaches this layer, very little plants can grow here. Most of the animals that survive here are insects that feed on decomposing plants like termites, millipedes, and cockroaches. Animals that feed on these insects can also survive here, like armadillos, snakes, and anteaters. Well, that's it about the rainforest and our habitat. Remember to do your part and recycle.